Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Welcome to the Viewers Anonymous podcast. I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
Yo, what's going on with you, Brody?
Can't call it, man. Just glad to be doing the second pod of the week, man. It felt like a month. We were just out for a week, man. It felt like a month, man. Because I'm just so used to doing 2 pods a week, possibly 3 when I do the solo joint. But just glad to be, getting back on schedule, man. But everything been all right, man. But how you doing? How everything going?
Man, my work life is shit, man.
Oh man,
they took away our earphones, bro. We can't listen to music and shit no more.
I'm quitting.
Work, man, I want to so bad, but I found a way to sneak my AirPods. So you know what I'm saying. I'm still listening to it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm still listening to my pods and shit. So. But you know what I'm saying, now I gotta keep my head on the swivel while I'm at work, so I don't get caught with the AirPods in.
Hey man, you need to get you some of the Raycon joints.
Hey, nah, you can't have none of them shits, bro.
So how you listening?
Because I got my AirPods in. But I wear a hoodie at work, so I keep my hood on all day. And then when I got my mask on, it pulled my hoodie down over my ears and shit, so you can't see nothing. So I just stay away from everybody when I that way I got to talk about it.
The reason I say that is because if you get the one joints, they go in your ear, you can't even see them.
Oh, word.
They go in your ear,
yeah.
And then they come in certain colors and shit. I got some red ones, and dude, you barely can even see them joints because the regular AirPods or whatever, you can see it hanging from your ear. Yeah. The Raycons don't. They go in your ear.
But so can you still hear everything around you with them in?
Well, I only wear one at a time. So, it's kind of hard to answer that question because I don't wear both in my ear.
Yeah.
When I'm working, I just wear the one side. But then also, even with my AirPods, when it's constantly playing a podcast, that motherfucker gonna die midday. So you need another one to put in. So I always brought one.
The only reason I'm asking because I gotta have 2 of them in. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll be around all them the power tools and machines and stuff. So it's a bunch of loud noise. So my iPod Pro, I got the Pros. So with them, they got the noise cancellation. So I just hit the noise cancellation, turn on the pod, and set it on low, and I can still be able to kind of hear everything around me. But you know what I'm saying? The only thing is we actually had the headphones for work. So they got headphones that you could use, that's OSHA approved and all that. So we had them, but somebody almost got hit by a forklift because they was on their phone switching. They said they were switching music, but I don't think they're switching no fucking music. It ain't that hard to switch no music. But so they told us, they made it a factory-wide mandate that nobody can have them in. So now the QC dude, who is also the safety dude, he goes around and makes sure that everybody got headphones in. So I have to I have to basically get the earplugs, put them behind my ears so the cord can hang down. Yeah. And then put my AirPods in and then put my hoodie on so they can't see them. So man, I feel like a criminal in there right now.
Man, that is a quittable offense, my guy. If I couldn't listen to my podcast while I'm working, man, I am not staying at that job. Because I always tell people,
it's a wrap. I'm going crazy.
Man, I'm telling you, I tell people all the time that first of all, when I tell people in November, I'd be at FedEx for 14 years. And I tell people that, and I'll be like, man, this is the thing. I was like, it's not hard work to me because I said, yeah, my body's working. I said, but my mind ain't. I said, because
I'm going.
I be so engulfed in the podcast. It's it don't feel like I'm necessarily working.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't do it, man. If I couldn't listen to my podcast, I couldn't do it.
I will say this though, the JBP almost got me caught.
Oh man, what the Nick Cannon episode?
Nah, just you know what I'm saying. It
Just
wasn't
period.
a Nick Cannon episode, but you know, because Joe be playing music throughout the pod.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying. He in the sleeper segment, man. They played a couple bangers. I got the bob in my head and I had to catch myself. Like, fuck, you can't do that, man. You gonna tell me? You gonna tell yourself, bro?
Hey, just tell them like, yo, man, I had the song just playing in my head, man. I
Man,
was just jamming. You know what I mean?
I don't even want the attention on me like that, man. So right now I'm focused. You know what I'm saying? I keep my head on the swivel, bro. I keep my hoodie on at all times. People be thinking I'm crazy because I wear a hoodie to work with a shirt over it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? We be working in the factory, get like 101 sometimes. They be like, man, how you keep that fucking hoodie on all day? I'm like, shit, I ain't got no choice but to keep the hoodie on all day. Especially now, like shit, now I can't take this motherfucker off, man. If I take this motherfucker off, y'all gonna die.
Damn, not die.
Hey man, listen, 8 hours listening to power tools and the thing that goes. Look, and then I work in this thing sometimes called the hood, but it's like a big ass vacuum for like dust and shit. And the whole time all you hear is woo. So I'm listening to that shit all day. I'm listening to different power tools all day. Nah, bro, I gotta hear pod, bro.
Dude, man, I know one day I had like the Bluetooth joints in, and them bitches. I guess it didn't charge the night before.
Oh,
and I didn't have like no spare because I used to carry spare headphones with me because I started doing it after that happened. And dude, and all you hear is the engine of that truck. Man, I think, but I almost went stir crazy. But I was like, I can't do this, man.
The day be so long, bro.
So long, man, and all you hear is that truck.
Man,
and every bump you hit, you hear the metal and the boxes bouncing around. Like, nah, man, I can't do this.
That shit sound like depression, bro.
It is depression.
Every time I go in there without headphones in, it just sounds like depression all throughout the factory.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. Not at all.
So, man, let's get into, you know what I'm saying, one of my favorite segments of the show, man. This is the one where, you know what I'm saying, we give you guys a little a hint into what we do outside of the episodes, you know what I'm saying, the stuff we like to watch, man. It's called What We Watching. So what you watching this week?
Well, I don't even know. Well, I got two, but I do got to mention something just because we've been off for a week. I'm not going to get into it because, you know, you never know what can happen. But Stranger Things is the shit. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, they killing this season.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But I got two this week, man. One, it's an HBO movie, HBO original. It came out starring the dude Ben Foster, called Survivor, and basically he was a boxer. It's based on a true story of this boxer guy back in the. So this had to be the 50s. Had to be the 50s because he was one of the Jewish people who was in the concentration camps. And what they ended up doing was the Germans wanted him to start entertaining the other like the other officers and shit. So what he had him doing was, instead of them just sending like these people to the gas
real quick. I forgot. Sorry for cutting you off, but you gotta call them Nazis. Don't call them Germans.
Oh yeah, Nazis.
Yeah, Nazis.
Great point. So the Nazis would have him, instead of just sending them straight to the gas chamber, he would force him to beat them to death in a boxing match. So he would basically have to beat the shit out of them to death, basically. And so what the movie is about, like, he ended up becoming a professional boxer after the war, but he still had all that trauma from what he did back then because he was basically killing his own people, while he was doing this stuff for the Nazis and stuff. And then like there's also like a love story in it because there was a woman who got scooped up when they was walking down the road together and she threw a rock at the Nazis for some stupid ass reason, and they scooped her ass up and took her. And So
I'm sorry, white people be doing some wild shit.
So he ended up he ended up finding her once they was old as fuck, and he already had a family and kids and all this type of shit. But it's an interesting movie, man. Like I said, I did the true story thing. I looked up to see what the real boxer looked like, and all the people during that time, and ended up being a okay movie. They're not really promoting it like that, but it's called The Survivor on HBO. The other thing that I watched, brand new movie just came out Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? I had to get on it because I thought people was gonna be talking about it today. Was Hustle, the new Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, it came out on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it came out on Netflix. Adam Sandler, Queen Latifah, and cameos from everybody. But when it comes to Anthony Edwards, he's not a cameo. Like he's like actually in the movie. Kenny Smith is actually in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Basically, Adam Sandler is a scout for the Philadelphia 76ers, and he's one of the scouts to go over and look at the talent. And Robert Duvall, he's in like 2 scenes, but he's the owner of the team. Ben Foster again. Ben Foster is the son who wants to take over for his dad and all that type of shit. So long story short, Robert Duvall tell Adam Sandler that he's going to give him an assistant coach job, so he don't have to keep traveling because he missed 9 of his daughter's birthdays because he was always overseas scouting talent. Well, Robert Duvall dies, so now the son takes over, and this is in the very beginning of the movie, and he's like, "Yo," and what happened was, so when he was scouting these European kids, the kid that the son wanted was like, "Yo, I want him. He's a great player. This, that." But Adam Sandler was like, "Yo, I've been watching this kid. He don't play defense. He don't pass the ball. All he does is score." And he was like, "If you draft him, it's gonna be a mistake." Well, when Robert Duvall dies, he drafted the kid. Now he regrets it. Now he was like, "Yo, I don't want you to be an assistant coach no more. I want you to go find me another talent over there." He was like, "Yo, like I'm an assistant coach, And he was like, "I told you not to draft the dude." So anyway, he goes overseas, and basically what the movie is about is he sees a kid playing street ball. Like he's scouting all these other kids, but he sees a kid playing street ball, and he's playing in work boots, in construction boots.
Shit.
And he busting this dude ass. So he goes up to him and starts talking to him. And the reason that the dude stopped playing basketball, organized basketball, is because he started working construction because he has a daughter and his mom and his dad left. So he basically had to start paying the bills and whatnot. So he ended up talking him into trying out for the scouting combine and all this type of shit. So that's like basically the movie. But it's interesting seeing Adam Sandler play like these roles where like of course he's gonna throw a little one-liner here and there, but like it's primarily it's primarily a serious role. And like I said, man, everybody's in it, man. Mark Jackson, Dr. J, Dirk Nowitzki, everybody's in it. All the NBA players are in it. But it's produced by LeBron James and Maverick Carter. But it ended up being an all right movie. Not the greatest movie. It's not the greatest Adam Sandler movie, but you know what I'm saying? It was a pretty good movie.
I mean, it's for Netflix, so I know they got paid.
Oh yeah, for sure. But he got to deal with Netflix. So So what I seen was The Survivor on HBO, a movie, and Hustle on Netflix, and that's a movie as well.
Nice. Okay, so for me, man, I have 2 as well. My first one, excuse me, is a new season of Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, man. Fire. It's a anthology series, so you know what I'm saying? It's like Black Mirror meets anime. You know what I'm saying? I talked about Love, Death, and Robots before, but they got a new season out. But yeah, it's just a bunch of different episodes about a bunch of different things. It's great animation. The episodes, you know what I'm saying, they're not too long. Some of them are long, some of them are short. It's just it's like a nice, you know what I'm saying, it's just a nice show to sit back and watch. They got a lot of different meanings in some of the shows. Some of them is just wild ass episodes. So I mean, it's just something nice to watch. If you're into Black Mirror, you'll definitely love Death and Robots. And then my second one, of course, man, it's The Boys, man.
See, I knew you were gonna say it. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah, new episode dropping today. Can't wait to watch it once we get done with this one. I might have to wait till the game is over, actually. But man, let me tell you something. I heard. If you haven't heard, I'm doing a pod shout out real quick. If you haven't heard the Ringerverse pod, check it out. It's by what's Bill Simmons? What's the name? The Ringer. The Ringer. Yeah, it's called the Ringerverse. But the show is called the Ringerverse, man. It's two different podcasts in one. So what they do is they have one where it's an instant reaction podcast with Van Lathan and Charles Holmes and a host of other people, and then it's another one with Mallory Rubin, and I forgot what the new girl's name is. It's something Robinson. I forgot what her name is. But basically, you get two podcasts in one. So you get one where it's an instant reaction, and then you get other one where it's a deep dive where they kind of go deeper into the episode, give you certain information and certain facts. The instant reaction is like soon as it dropped, the next day they talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And they call themselves the Midnight Boys because they basically wait till midnight to, you know what I'm saying, watch it and all that shit. So I always listen to the instant reaction ones depending on what it is. I also listen to the deep dive ones, but the instant reaction ones, I do all of those. So yeah, man, that's that I heard a little info on that pod about and I told you this in the text, but basically this season is supposed to be like a origin story for MM. So, and for people who don't know who that is, that's the character that Laz Alonso plays for the Boys. So this is supposed to be his it's basically supposed to be his origin story. They talk about how his dad ended up getting killed by the Soulja Boy character. They talk about how he used to be a suit, like all kind of shit. So it's gonna be a lot of shit that come out in this season that a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, unless you actually read the comics and you already know, like there's gonna be a lot of shit in here that's shocking. So I can't wait for this shit. I can't wait to see how they put it out. And then they was talking about the Soulja Boy character, who is I didn't know this. He was the prototype for Homelander. So
that didn't surprise me.
Yeah, so basically the group before them, I think they was called Payback. They supposed to be like the Marvel version of the Supes in that world, and then the Seven is supposed to be like the Justice League. So like Black Noir is supposed to be Batman, Homelander is supposed to be Superman, Maeve is supposed to be Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying, like that.
Yeah.
The Deep is supposed to be Aquaman, and then A-Train's supposed to be the Flash. The only one that changed up was the Starlight character. She's supposed to be like the version of Green Lantern. So, you know what I'm saying? This new one, I want to see how they put that together, you know what I'm saying, to see what they do with that. So I know we seen Soulja Boy in the last episode. We seen, I forgot what his sidekick's name was. It was
so that new dude's supposed to be Shazam?
Maybe. I don't know.
I forget because
the one that they doing the contest with.
Yeah, they just won the contest.
I mean, he might. I don't know. I ain't really never seen his powers, so I mean, I don't know. But I like the way that they kind of twist everything up, and the way that they do everything and make it as realistic as possible. It's, you know what I'm saying. They already had some wild scenes already. You know what I'm saying. With the whole termite thing was crazy. My nigga was doing some wild shit with his boyfriend, and I was like, yo that shit was...
hold on, we gotta talk about it real quick. This motherfucker can get small like the Ant-Man. My man went into my dude dick and started rubbing the inside of the walls of my dude dick, and then fucking sneezed and
this nigga in half, bro.
Yo, this shit is crazy.
Yeah,
and then like the whole little thing of like how they had the head of the dick look. Me and my man just walked into it.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, these people is wild.
Did you see the last episode where the dude that be flying and shit when they did the flashback and dude was flying, and she was like, "Yo, get down." He was like, "What? I can't fly here?" She was like, "No. What if they see you and find out where the fuck we are?" And then that nigga was trying to fly off, and that missile hit him. Hey, bro, this show is crazy. Then we find out Black Noir is really a black dude. Yeah, man, listen, bro. I like this show, man. Crazy. Shout out to Giancarlo Esposito too. He plays. I think the dude's name is Stan.
No, shout out to what's the main character name? That's dating Starlight.
Huey.
Do you know who Huey is?
Mm-mm.
Yo, he is Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan's son. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
How old is he?
I think he's like mid to late 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I thought that nigga was like a little bit older than me.
I looked on IMDb because I was just looking because there was one character I didn't know who that was. So I went on IMDb and and I saw that his last name is Quaid. I was like, I only know two Quaids. You know what I'm saying? Randy Quaid and Dennis Quaid. Like, and then I clicked on him and it said the son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. I'm like,
wow,
get the fuck out of here. I didn't know
Meg Ryan had a kid.
I didn't
know she was that old.
Yeah, Meg Ryan old.
I didn't know that.
She old.
For some odd reason, anytime I see Meg Ryan, I think of Sleepless in Seattle, so that's the only way I see her.
See, I think of another movie. One of my guilty pleasure movies. You know what I'm saying? She played in the Land of Women.
I ain't never seen that.
That movie was alright though. Basically,
with a title like that, yeah, that's alright.
Basically, dude. So the main character, girlfriend breaks up, and she's like a model, right? Mm-hmm. So she breaks up with him. So he goes to stay with his grandma. You know what I'm saying? So he flies out to Michigan. I think it was Michigan. He's from LA, but flies out to Michigan to stay with his grandma for a while. And the lady across the street is Meg Ryan, and the daughter is Kristen Stewart. And so they, he ended up, I forget who he spoke. I think he was talking to Meg Ryan first. And then like that, she just kind of like used her daughter to like get him like just because she could tell he was depressed about losing his girlfriend, but she was just like, just for somebody you can hang out with while you're here. Now he was older than her because he was like in college and she was in high school. So she was just like not trying to hook them up. Right. It was just more of like, hey, this is somebody you can hang out with, boom, boom, boom. And his grandma was going through like some shit. Like she would like open the door with no pants on and shit. She was just getting old. And she always talked about how she was about to die and shit. He's always telling grandma, stop saying you finna die. And so basically what ended up happening is he ended up really, because if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't seen it in a while, I think Meg Ryan's husband was cheating on her and she ended up getting cancer. So she ended up going through chemo and shit.
God, so this is not the movie I thought it was going to
be. But he ended up really like falling in love with Meg Ryan.
Of course.
Even though he kissed the daughter.
Yeah.
But it wasn't his fault because she kind of like came on to him kind of thing. But I can't really explain it, man. It was just one of those movies.
Wild-ass movie.
It's a wild-ass movie, and I really like it. I think is my dude named Adrian Brody? Is it?
Yeah.
No, not the one. No, this is the one dude who used to play in this one TV show back in the day. But yeah, like I don't know, man. It's just one of those movies, man. I just really like it. Like every time I see it on, I watch it. It's one of those movies, man. It's a chick flick. It's all the way chick flick, but
yeah, that got to be some Lifetime shit. That sounds like some shit. That's a Lifetime movie. Nigga, grandma got Alzheimer's. This nigga is a troublemaker, and he's not a kicking it with a high school girl, and he in love with the mom, but the mom get cancer. Her husband cheats. Nigga, that sounds like a Lifetime movie. And they fall in love, yeah. That's.
But they don't get together though, because he ended up going back because I think he was a writer, and so basically what he did,
that's definitely a Lifetime movie.
he used the shit that he was going through when he went out there with his grandma, and he kind of like wrote a book or whatever, whatnot.
It became successful.
Well, it don't show that. It don't show that because the movie
okay.
ends when he tells Meg Ryan basically that he was going back to LA or whatnot, and so it was basically how the movie ended. But it was a good movie though, man. Like I say, man, it's a chick flick. If y'all like chick flicks, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go check that out. In the Land of Women.
Yeah. And hit us back up and tell us what you think about this movie. This movie, I'm gonna watch this. I'm intrigued now because when you said In the Land of Women, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this about to be some cool shit. Like, dude, move over there, he fall in love, have you know what I'm saying, get the mom and you know what I'm saying, knock up the mom, probably some shit like that. The girl fall in love with him, he become her stepdad, all kind of weird shit like that.
No, that didn't happen, but yeah, dude, I had no idea Meg Ryan even. I mean, I guess I ain't surprised. I mean, her and Dennis Quaid around the same age, all that type of shit. So, same profession, all that. But anyway, we got to get to the
yes, sir, man. So, today, man, we doing Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, man. This movie is a Netflix movie. It is about a unique love story of Ted Bundy. And it stars Zac Efron, the high school musical heartthrob. Haley Joel Osment. I didn't even know this nigga was still doing movies. Jim Parsons, John Malkovich, Lily Collins, and Kaya Scodelario. Scodelario. That's a hell of a last name. What that nigga Webby say, boy, y'all got some names on this motherfucker. But basically, man, this is a movie that talks about Ted Bundy and what I'm saying, everything that he was going through. But in the midst of all that, they was talking about how this nigga was somehow a ladies' man.
Yeah, and this movie really kind of captures how he met his wife. Well, you technically have to say his first wife, Carol Ann, and like all that type shit. But like Ted Bundy, man, I don't know why he's just like he's one of those. And this is the main reason why I even really want to do this movie, to have a Ted Bundy conversation. Yeah. But because he's one of the fascinating serial killers because of like the shit that he did and like just how smart he thought he was. This motherfucker broke out of prison twice. Like and then
John Dillinger.
Man, I'm telling you, it's some wild shit. And then the thing is, he admitted to killing 30 women, but they believed that he killed more.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
And just the shit that he did at Florida State, that's the shit. That's wild. And I think I mentioned this on the Coming Soon because the wild thing about Ted was, so Ted broke out. So he broke out the first time in June the 7th, 1977, and he ended up being recaptured on the 13th. The thing about it was the way he escaped that was, so when he went to trial in Utah, he represented himself because he went to law school. He didn't finish, but you still have the right in the United States. You can represent yourself if you want. Yeah. So with him saying that, they had to let him use the library at the courtroom. So he would go into the library, and they would basically leave him in there by himself with no chains. So he ended up, and they showed us in the movie where he tie his boots real tight. He kept jumping off the bed, like getting his body used to, trying to take because the window was on the second floor of the court building. So it shows him jumping down, trying to get his knees and ankles and stuff ready to make that jump. Yeah. So finally, he makes a jump. He go hide out in the woods. Now they don't show this part. This part I saw on the documentary. So he camps out in the woods for about, I think, 5 days, and then he's recaptured. Which I think, this is my theory, I think he got captured on purpose. because I think that he knew that if I escape again, because he kept looking at, then they showed this in the movie, he kept looking at the light in the ceiling. So basically what he had to do was, when he was out there, he basically starved himself. So he came back probably like 10, 15 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
So I don't think he would have fit through that hole unless he lost weight.
Oh, okay.
And also, I think the reason why he got captured on purpose was because with him jumping out during that trial, you can only do so much in that amount of time because they know you're gone. But if you sneak out in the middle of the night, you give yourself a head start. Like, there ain't no roadblocks and all that type shit set up because they don't know you're gone yet. So I think he did that shit on purpose when he escaped the second time, because when he escaped the second time, when he went through that hole in the ceiling in his prison cell, now this is what his story is. Now, y'all, this is what I'm saying right now is not in this movie. We'll get to the movie, but this is not in the movie. We're talking Ted Bundy here. So he claims that he basically stole a car and he drove up north. He claims that he went to a fucking Michigan game. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said it was a Michigan-Ohio State game. I can't remember who they played, but he claims he went to a Michigan game in Ann Arbor as a fugitive. Went to a game and then made his way. Like, after he left the game, he said that's when he took his way down to Florida. And he ended up doing all the shit down in Florida, which we'll get to later. But like, just the shit that he did and the way that he captured his women, you know what I'm saying? Like, faking injuries and shit just to get him close to his car. And like, shit, he decapitated one woman. And which I get to that later because it's the scene that happens at the end of the movie that is, you know what I'm saying, really crazy. But Ted, I don't know, man. Ted Bundy to me was one. He's a very interesting one because he's one of those guys where it's like he kind of really had the potential to probably just be like. I think that if he didn't let his compulsion take over, I think that he could have been doing this shit for a very long time. Yeah. Because the movie starts in 69 and it ends in 89. He dies at 89. So he basically went like 10 years of just killing women. And me and you talked about this when we did Mindhunters. It was just like how it was easier to be a serial killer back then because surveillance ain't what it was. And then plus when Ted Bundy first started, there wasn't even a such thing as a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? And because different police stations didn't communicate with each other. So if a body come up and then you go to another county and another body come up, they never connected the shit to the other body. So I don't know, man. From the information that you know or you heard or researched about Ted Bundy, like what are your thoughts on Ted
Bundy? Well, everybody knows that, you know what I'm saying, and it's weird even saying this, that he's a famous serial killer. So we all know that shit, right? Only in America you could be famous for killing motherfuckers. But I was shocked at the fact that this nigga was like he was considered a heartthrob.
Yeah.
Like, this nigga was killing bitches. And like, they were in love with this dude, bro. Like, that was intriguing as fuck to me because it's like, you hear about like the one lady who married Charles Manson. You hear about, you know what I'm saying, like the shit that Charles Manson did and how he was able to coerce and convince women, you know what I'm saying, to kill people for him, and then even convince them so well that, you know, sometimes they would get their boyfriend to do it with them, you know what I'm saying, with the couple that did it, like just all kind of shit. And it makes my mind tick on how some of these serial killers, bro, like just get away with some of this shit that they doing. And he, of course, we know he didn't get away, but I mean, just like in the moment, like, bro, like all of these women knew that this dude was a fucking murderer. but like he had a following as if this nigga was like thirst trapping on Instagram. Full of women, bro. Like they saying they love him. You know what I'm saying? Like they, you know what I'm saying? Just outside, like showing them love. I'm like, bro, who are these wild, crazy women that's falling in love with a nigga that's killing women?
Yeah, hey, you're right. And I got to make a correction here. Now, the first wife, because I mentioned the second wife name first. Mm-hmm. The first wife, and who the story is mainly based upon, is Liz Kendall. Yeah. I said Carol Ann. Carol Ann is who he married in court.
When he was on the trial.
He literally married this woman on trial. Y'all, listen, he was on trial for 3 first-degree murders, 3 attempted murders,
and 2 counts
in the state of Florida. And this motherfucker asked her to marry him in the courtroom. And it's legal in the state of Florida where you could do that and you're legally married. So that's what he did to Carol Ann. And this woman married this dude while he's in jail on trial for murdering 3 women and attempted murder on 3 other women. And she married him. Not only did she marry him, she got pregnant and had his child.
Yeah.
On trial. So that's what, like, that's the one thing that's so weird about Ted Bundy, man. And like the details that came out about this trial is wild, which we'll get into that. But basically, the synopsis is this movie starts in '69, like I mentioned earlier. Ted runs into Liz at a bar. Liz is out for the first time because they never really talked about what happened to her baby's father. They didn't really talk about it in the movie. Mm-hmm. But she was a single mom, and she ended up bringing Ted. And that's another thing. I got to mention this. I hate this. I hate to do this, but I got to. So she meets him at a bar, first night. She brings him home, and then the babysitter comes out while they're on the porch. And the babysitter's like, yo, you can pay me later. You late. I'm just going home. Mm-hmm. And she's like, that's my babysitter. So you want to leave now? And he's like, no. And you let him in. And you let him see your kid. Well, you just met him. You just literally met the dude at the bar.
The 60s and the 70s, man.
True. It's probably different. And then the next morning she wake up. My dude now got the baby out the crib. You know what I'm saying? He ended up cooking breakfast and shit. And got the baby sitting there drinking the bottle and eating cereal. So
oh yeah, this is smooth.
Oh, he was real smooth. And that's what I'm saying. Like raised
how the fuck you even know we got breakfast food, nigga?
I know, like he ended up chopping up tomatoes and
yeah, see, that's the thing. That's where he took it too far. First and foremost, if you don't live here, don't get your ass up grabbing shit and start cooking. You don't know what them tomatoes is for. You just cutting shit up and cooking it.
Yeah, man. So, but you're right there. You make a good point. I mean, 60s, 70s, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was super friendly around that time. And that was like coming right off of the whole, no, that was actually right in the middle of the whole like love thing, the hippie love shit.
Yeah. So, but he ended up basically raising this kid for like 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Helping her raise this kid. So this is the story that you get in this movie of him living a double life of being with this girl, longtime girlfriend, and he ended up marrying her. And so this story is more about how he ended up getting caught the first time in Utah because he ended up running a stop sign. Mm-hmm. So basically, if Ted Bundy never would have got pulled over, now, okay, well, hold on, wait a minute.
Now, probably like 1,000 bodies by now.
Before I go there, now there was a sketch that was out in the state of Washington, and people said that kind of looked like Ted. And then people were saying that there was a Volkswagen Beetle involved, but at the time that was the most popular car in America. So it's kind of hard to zero it down.
Volkswagen was popular.
Yeah, it was very popular. You know what I'm saying?
The Beetle and the Beetle and the minivan.
Yeah. So to say, this sketch kind of looked like Ted, and he drove this car, but then you think But like that girl said, that looked like about every white man in America, and everybody drive that car. So they couldn't really zero it down. But if he never would have got pulled over for running the stop sign, we don't know what would have happened. Because she stuck by his side, even though, because this woman that happened in Utah, she didn't die. She ended up escaping. So she was able to testify. Because when he got arrested in Utah, he got arrested for kidnapping.
Yeah.
So that's what he got arrested for there. But then while he was on trial there was a murder in Colorado that they said that he fit the description of the murder in Colorado. So when he got found guilty for kidnapping, then he had to go to Colorado to face the trial of a murder there.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, like this guy, it was like for him, it was like the snowball effect. It was like one little thing, a stop sign
turned into murder, nigga.
Yeah.
God damn. That's a hell of a traffic ticket.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
This is the crazy shit though, right? The fact that like in the 60s and 70s, you know what I'm saying? Like the culture of the 60s and 70s was like free love, like nigga drugs was popping. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this shit was going on. And like when you think about like all of like the fucking illicit and lewd shit that was happening, it don't shock me like these dudes was like sexual deviants.
No, it don't surprise me at all.
Like this is when orgies got popping.
Yeah, dude, they was like fucking at Woodstock. Like just you know what I mean? That's why like
a dude like Ted Bundy, like that's why I say it's so fucking intriguing because on one end, like his whole thing is killing women, but at the same time, because like everything, you know what I'm saying, the culture of the 60s and 70s with hippies and free love and you know what I'm saying, flower power and all that shit, like, and then the drugs on top of that, like these women were going crazy for dude, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking like can you like there's no way that should have popped off today.
No.
Like there's no way that shit like I don't even we don't even have a famous serial killer right now.
The last one, and see, we have mass shootings. Like we don't have.
Word. I'm saying like, but they not like
the last one had to be damn, I hate to say it, but it got DC Sniper. It got to be them.
Damn.
Because I was in high school. Was I in high school?
That was like that was a little bit after 9/11, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was around that time. So yeah, that's the last time. And the way that they did it was a little different. They would just see what makes them different was they were just sniping people.
Just random
yeah, like they wasn't like picking up women and fucking.
No, I'm just saying just the fact that like how like these niggas was murdering people, like going on killing sprees. Yeah. But they was fucking famous. Like these niggas was like damn near celebrities. And like they had groupies. Like nowadays, bro, like there would be like none of that could be possible. Like nobody was out there like, oh, the DC Sniper take me. Nobody was on that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that was what Charles Manson. That was. I don't even think they was doing that for like John Wayne Gacy. I don't think they were doing that.
No, hell no.
Like they weren't doing it.
Trash. But I'm saying like even I think the closest we got to it was the one dude, the Felon Bay dude. Remember that? All the girls was going crazy over that nigga name was like something Meeks. Jordan Meeks or some shit like that.
That's a basketball player.
No, that's Jody Meeks.
Oh.
No, this nigga last name was Meeks or something like that. I forgot what his first name was, but there was the Felon Bay dude. Like he had his mugshot posted, and like all these women was going crazy for this nigga.
Oh, they had the tattoo thing on his neck. Yeah, had the eyes and shit.
Wow, yeah, they're going wild for that nigga. This nigga is like a celebrity now. Like,
he doing movies. I saw him in a video.
Yeah, he doing movies.
Yo, this shit is crazy.
But I don't know what he did though.
He was just a picture that girl thought was cute.
Yeah, they just thought, I don't know what he got locked up for.
They saw his mugshot and girls went crazy.
I don't know. I gotta find out what he got locked up for. But I'm gonna look that up now. But I just think it's crazy though. Like in that time, like with all the shit that was going on, they was killing motherfuckers, bro. And it was just like motherfuckers didn't care about that shit. Like niggas literally had his face in the paper. Like you could literally see it in the paper, and like a woman saw that and was like, "Damn, he fine." Like, yo, this nigga he's a killer.
Yeah, and see, Jeffrey Dahmer was gay, so I guess that's why they didn't go crazy over him. But
that Jeffrey Dahmer was a weird looking motherfucker too, though.
Yeah, he was.
Charles Manson was too. That's why I understand how he was getting all them hoes, bro.
I don't either. But
that's what I said, bro. The 60s and 70s are a wild fucking time.
If you watch, and I
Jeremy Meeks, that's his name.
Jeremy Meeks. I spoke about this. You know, anytime we ever talked about serial killers, there was a show that had 2 seasons called Aquarius, and it's about Charles Manson and like the early years, like before. See, like this was more like before and right around the time of that one killing when he sent them in that house, you know, to kill that family or whatnot. But they say he was a charming dude. He could sing. And, you know, he was trying to get a record deal, and all that type of shit. Yeah, like Charles Manson, he tried to get a record deal, and he used to play the guitar and he would sing. And but yeah, they showed that they played that out in Aquarius. It used to be
that's the perfect time for all that shit because that was the singer-songwriter era.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So that's probably how he was getting them though.
Yeah, and he was pissed off because you know what I'm saying. His record career, but yeah,
ass, B. Can you imagine that nigga like when the guards be talking to him in prison and shit? He start talking crazy. Be like, yeah, but what about them weak ass songs you was writing? What some trash ass songs you was making in the 60s and 70s, motherfucker.
Hey, he thought those shits was a joint, man.
He thought them bitches was
nobody fucking with him but them girls.
I can see it now too, like, you know what I'm saying? They be all outside and shit in front of the van by the campfire. He pull that motherfucking guitar out, get to playing this shit. They all high. And they ain't heard nothing else going on. They so high. They be like, oh man, Charles, that was so sweet. That's hilarious, man. Bro.
It was all right though, man. It was a pretty good 2 seasons. Had my dude that played in X-Files.
Scully? Not Scully. Was Mulder?
Mulder was the dude, right? Scully was the girl, right?
Shit, I don't know. I just know one of them was Scully, one of them was Mulder.
Well, whichever one is the dude. Y'all know
I gotta go back and watch that shit. I want to watch X-Files now. But real quick. Jeremy Meeks, aka Felon Bay, bro. This nigga went to jail. He got 2 years, and it was for robbery and assaulting a 60-year-old boy when he was 18. So I guess he beat that nigga up, and then became a felon. Then he got federal charges for possession of a firearm and grand theft. So yeah, this nigga he wasn't that, but. You know, this nigga worth $5 million now.
Man, so I'm saying,
and this nigga's a Crip. What is going on in America?
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You don't get nowhere being a nice guy, man.
Bro, Ted Bundy could never be a gang member, bro.
Hey, you stupid. This dude done with this being a gang member. Man, gangs didn't even exist yet.
What, in the 50s and 60s? Yeah, they did. I mean, in the 60s and 70s, they definitely.
Well, the Crips and Bloods didn't until the 80s.
No, I ain't talking about like that gang. I'm saying
just mean
like
any gang.
You know, like West Side Story gangs. You know.
Well, he was in a gang. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was a Republican.
That's hilarious. Hey, that is hilarious. Yo, that's fire, bro. If y'all don't laugh at that at home, bro, y'all have no fucking heart. That is great. He said he wasn't that was great.
He actually worked hold on.
Don't tell me he worked on Nixon's campaign.
He did, because Nixon was what, 68.
Yep.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah, he did. They don't show that in this movie, but you know, I watched a bunch of shit on Ted Bundy. But he actually worked in Seattle, Washington. He worked as, I think he actually was the campaign manager, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Yo, see, that's what I'm saying, bro. These niggas be living like tremendous lives, bro. Like, these niggas is going around catching bodies.
Yeah,
this nigga goes to jail and has a fucking fan club. Who goes to jail and gains a fan club?
Yo, like the women that were showing up the trial, dude, was great. Now,
they
actually showed that in the movie, too.
Yeah.
Of these women just showing up the trial. And they was like, oh, it's a mistake about him. And and all this shit.
He's so daring.
No. He's dreamy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Dreamy. Get the fuck out of here,
dreamy.
Bro. That shit ain't cool, man.
No, not at all. That's the whole thing about like O.J. Simpson. Remember when we did Made in America?
Yeah.
And that whole, I think, 5th episode when he went down to Florida. And like he was just getting a gang of white women, and everybody was like,
"But that's different, bro. He was the juice at one point in time.
He was the juice at
Ted
one point.
Bundy was just nobody who just, you know what I'm saying? This nigga, he had some game on him because apparently he was able to talk to these bitches and kill them. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? This nigga goes to jail for murder. This shit is all over the fucking news. And at that time, it was only 4 channels. So on every channel, I'm sure they'll talk about this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Breaking news. Ted Bundy kills a bunch of motherfuckers. And they all women. And then the ladies just get to looking at him. Ooh, he's dreamy. No, that's not cool, man.
Now, what I didn't like about one of the documentaries that I watched, they was talking about how, you know what I'm saying, he always thought that this one person was his father, and then come to find out he wasn't, and because he was the bastard child, because people in the community like stopped fucking with his moms because, like, you know how they used to look at shit back then, like if you had a bastard baby or whatever,
this is a slut.
So like the community looks down on you. So, and they would talk about how he was a Boy Scout and he never fit in with the Boy Scouts, so they used to treat him a certain way and all this bullshit. I'm like, you don't give me all these
goddamn. His ass is out there killing animals.
He probably was.
Fucking weirdo.
But you know, we coming up on the hour, so let me get to the shit. So when he traveled down to Florida after he was, you know what I'm saying, a fugitive, so he goes down to Florida State campus. Now, this motherfucker goes down there, goes into a sorority building, and
of course,
goes into a sorority building and attacks in all 6 women, and they would talk about, like, they was going through the details. Like, this is actually in the movie where they were talking about he ripped one girl panties off so hard that it left burn marks on her side, like, you know, on her panty line area. Said he ripped them off so hard because of that. You know, he basically beat one girl to death. This is the weird thing. This dude took a tree, like a piece of a tree, which is kind of crazy because, like, what if it would have been an old tree? You hit a motherfucker with that, and it just crumbles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He found a good one apparently. So that ain't funny. So he beat the woman with that. But this is how they got him though.
Yeah.
They got him for 2 reasons. Well, number 1, 3, his fingerprints was everywhere for number 1.
Of course.
Number 2, he ended up getting caught because he ended up using one of the girl's credit cards that he had took from the scene. That was another thing that kind of tied him to it. But the third thing,
in the 60s and the 70s?
Yeah, because, you know, credit cards just really started becoming a thing.
Nigga.
No, but this was the 70s. This was 78 because he ended up going back to jail in 78.
It has a woman's name on there.
Hey. And he was driving one of them car.
Come on, bro.
But this is the part though, and this is the first time this ever happened in court. Y'all can look this up. I know I'm right about this. For some odd reason, he thought it was a great idea, and don't laugh, but he bit one of the girls in the ass.
Ass cheek, and that's how they caught him.
Yeah, that's how they caught him. They got his motors from his mouth and this is the first time ever in trial where they used like identify somebody by teeth marks. It's the first time it's ever happened in court.
Well, this is the crazy thing.
Ted Bundy.
This is why I'm saying, bro, the 60s and 70s was a wild ass time because only in the 60s and 70s would you do some freaky shit like that.
Like, why are you biting this girl ass, yo? Like,
no, not biting her ass. Biting her ass that hard. Why are you biting her ass that hard?
And then we don't even know if she was dead. And then when he was in court,
dead, that's crazy.
Yeah, when he was in court, this motherfucker really asked this question. He said, because at this point he had fired his lawyer. Mm-hmm. He asked the forensics person, did you basically use the real person's ass to get like the duplicate like things or whatever? And he was like, well, we couldn't use a live person because nobody volunteered for that. Right. like, why would you ask a fucking question about if it's a live person ass or some shit? Like, it was, I would tell you, like, that whole thing, just to even think of like something like that happened on a fucking campus of like a serial killer who got bodies in California, Washington, Idaho, Utah, what was the other state? Oregon. In Oregon. Like, this motherfucker goes, now he was taking people because a few of the victims were from Washington University. Mm-hmm. So he did have a thing for, college girls, whatnot. But one girl was 12 years old. Yeah. I don't know what happened with him with that one, but he did have one 12 years old. Now, the one scene that I was talking about earlier that I said I wanted to bring up was, so when his ex-wife, she finally came to see him, and he's on death row at this point. He's supposed to die any day. Mm-hmm. And it came out that he was going to finally, because he always proclaimed his innocence. He always said it wasn't him. So coming up on his execution date, he said that he would, give details and give names and shit. Mm-hmm. So she came to see him. So she flew out to Florida to come see him. And she was like, yo, I need you to release me. I need you to finally tell me you did this shit. Mm-hmm. So he kept saying the whole time
no. She was riding with him.
Yeah, well, she was
drinking and everything.
Yeah, she started drinking, smoking crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she couldn't. I think, honestly, what really killed her, and they never really expressed this, just my opinion, is that, like, I let this dude help me raise this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, now she has to live the rest of her life knowing that your father figure, you know what I'm saying, through your development years is a serial killer that was out here killing.
Nah, see, you giving Liz way too much credit, bro. Because that's not how women think. Women think selfishly, right? So really, what she was thinking was, I was riding with this motherfucker the whole time. This nigga lied. That's how she really. That's why she's really mad. She's mad because he lied to her.
I mean,
if he came out and told her the truth, she would have rolled with him.
Well, so she comes out and she sees him. She's like, "Yo, release me." And the one officer or detective that was from Colorado gave her a confidential envelope. Yeah, she never opened it. So she finally opened it when she went to go see him. And like, yo, what happened to this girl? And that was the girl that was missing. So he asked her where the head was, and Ted is like, yo, they're listening to us. I can't, you know what I'm saying? And then she's like, so why are you admitting to, giving them the truth or whatever? He was like, this is the only card I got for them to keep me alive because, he was about to get executed. So she was like, she begging him, pleading for him to tell her. So what Ted does is,
this shit was crazy.
He fucking like, that kind of like when you blow hot breath on something, you write. This motherfucker writes hacksaw. So that was the way that he admitted to her that all of this shit that you're hearing about me, I done it. And this one girl that you're showing me the picture that her head missing, I used a hacksaw to cut her head off. And like, that's when she ran out.
If DNA evidence was out, like if DNA thing was out around that time, bro, so many of these niggas would have been locked up and gone.
That's just like
would have been no issue because, like, nigga, you know how much blood you got to go through to hacksaw some shit.
That's nuts, man.
Nigga, a hacksaw is not like, for people who don't know what a hacksaw is, right? So a hacksaw is like, it's the saw like that look like it looked like a fucking bow and arrow.
The saw like the saw that they used in the very first Saw movie.
Yeah, to cut the chain. I mean, to cut the handcuff thing off his foot, or cut his foot off.
Well, that's to cut his foot off. That was the whole point of the movie.
Because he tried to cut the chains first. But that's what a hacksaw is. So it's a real extremely thin blade on usually like a wooden or like a metal hand, a big ass wooden or metal handle. Let me tell you something about a hacksaw. Okay. Depending on how wet whatever you cutting is, that motherfucker don't work. I tried to cut some wood one time with a hacksaw. And when you know how wood holds water. So the deeper and deeper I kept getting into it, the wetter, and you know what I'm saying, like it was, the moisture is getting rid, all the water is getting released from it. But you know how long it took me to cut that shit? So I can imagine between the blood and the sweat and all that off her body, trying to cut through that, man, that shit didn't do nothing for real, bro. It must took that nigga a minute. So I know blood and shit was everywhere. If DNA and shit was out, bro, this nigga would have been out.
Man, that's just, and then that wasn't even really his MO. I mean, they didn't really talk about like the rest of the bodies, but like he didn't really cut heads off.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what that.
I don't know what happened with this lady. Shit. You know what I think? I think that lady probably bit him. So he was just like, shit, get rid of your head.
I mean, I don't know if he was, because he seemed into biting, so I don't know if that was a thing.
Stupid.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that one, bro.
Nah, but overall, I mean, the movie, like I said, this movie is more centered around Liz and like his relationship with her and Carol Ann. Carol Ann ended up running into her with Liz, and then she ended up, when he was locked up in Florida, Carol Ann just came and took over and started, you know what I'm saying? She was fucking him in the waiting room, and like I said, she ended up marrying him during the court case. But the one thing I don't like, and I do like that how they used John Malkovich just to be that final judge. That was cool. But the thing is that that Florida trial was televised, so they was able to use a lot of like, you know, real footage to reenact this shit that's going on. So everything that went on during this trial, like they didn't really need a script. You know what I'm saying? Like they just used, you know, all of the shit that they already had. And what I did not like was how the judge was like, you would have made basically a phenomenal lawyer. I would have loved to watch you practice. And then he was like, you know, he kept saying, you know, take care of yourself, take care of yourself. You know, I don't have no ill will towards you and all this fucking bullshit. And I'm like, yo, that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Like, this dude at this point of time killed 3 girls and attempted to kill 3 more girls.
Yeah.
And you sitting here saying that he would have been a great lawyer if he would have chose a different life, and you don't have no ill will towards him and all this other shit.
I mean, but you got to think about the shit she was going through in that whole time too. Like at that point, I think it was more so to get that stress and that depression off of her.
No. I'm talking about the judge. That's what the judge said.
Judge? Well, yeah, that's what the judge. That's some shit a judge would say though.
That's some bullshit.
You can't. I mean, as a judge, you can't really be biased in that situation.
You can't,
even if you think a motherfucker guilty.
True, but like I don't think you should be, because I'm pretty sure some of the victim family was in there, or at least watch it, and you sitting here saying nice things about this dude, about how you would have loved to seen him do his practice.
I mean, she was a woman.
You would have made a phenomenal lawyer, huh?
She was a woman, wasn't she?
No, the judge was John Malkovich.
Oh, why am I thinking the judge was a woman? Never mind. Go ahead, I'm listening.
But I like how he had that little cameo, man. Because John always find a way. You know, that's your guy. He always finds a way to stand out. He always
everything he does is great.
Yeah. So But I know that we didn't necessarily like do the movie, but I mean, come on, man, this is a great opportunity to
it's
be able
really
to
like
talk
a true
about Ted
story.
Bundy.
Yeah, it's a true story, so it ain't like you can kind of just read the movie for real if you go back and look it up and research it.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. But like I said in the coming soon, this was really technically the second time. Mm-hmm. But this is the movie that I was like, yo, Zac Efron really got potential. He could really be a good actor.
The fact that they made Zac Efron play this role, do you know how many more brownie points Ted Bundy got? Heartthrob Zac Efron is playing Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous lady killers of all time.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think he got more ass, right, from doing this movie or Baywatch?
Oh, definitely this movie. What the fuck are we talking about? Nigga, Ted Bundy got ass. And he didn't even do this. He was making this movie. And he got ass. So I know Zac Efron. Because listen, when this shit came out, right? Netflix also does a podcast called oh shit, what is that podcast called? It's called What to Watch or Behind the hold on, I'm about to find it. But basically, they talked to like it's called You Can't Make This Up. And basically, they interview the directors or sometimes they interview the actors or whatever of like documentaries, movies, you know what I'm saying, all the Netflix joints. And so they had did this one and they were talking about the director. And they were talking about how when they had came out and once they were, going like on Twitter and everything, and they were saying like it was like hella tweets just about how sexy Zac Efron was. It wasn't even about the shit, but like it was the whatever the movie, you know what I'm saying? Like they do the hashtags for the movie, whatever the movie hashtag was, but it'd be like, oh, Zac Efron is so such and such, and oh, I saw in love with Zac Efron, and like one girl was like, Zac Efron could have killed me, and like it's all kind of crazy shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy to the fact to me, bro. Like Ted Bundy was doing this shit then. Like the fact that it's just wild that people can go crazy over a motherfucker knowing good and goddamn well like he could end your life at any point in time. Because this is what he does.
True. I mean, look, you're right. But you know what I'm saying? We'll go to the fire flames.
For me, so okay, I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. I got through a bit of it though. But everybody kind of knows the story. Like I said, he's a famous serial killer, so everybody kind of knows the gist of the story. This one kind of went a little deeper and went into his personal life, which I didn't know that he was married twice, let alone married once. I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying, he helped raise the girl and everything else. I didn't know none of this shit, so this was very interesting to find out. That the whole time he was going around doing this, like this nigga had a daughter and this nigga had a family. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some crazy shit in itself. But the cast is great, of course. And now I know that anytime you put Zac Efron in any kind of movie, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna get watched by the women of America. But it gave me some insight into some more stuff about Ted Bundy that I had no idea about. So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay, cool. Like you said, good cast. I'm not mad at it at all. I think that they did good with the facts, showing the facts, being able to play out some of the stuff that I seen the documentary of it and actually show the whole thing of him being in the cell, tying his boots, jumping off the bed repeatedly to get himself prepared for that jump. You know, showing all that type stuff. Actually, they didn't play out the murders of the women in Florida State, but they read the details out in court. So, you know, that part was pretty good. But I'm gonna give it a 4 myself. I think this was a movie that kind of got. I mean, it was spoken about. Don't get me wrong, it was spoken about when it came out because this is an older film. Like this film came out in 2019. So yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4, man. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Nice. All right, man. Yeah, that's some crazy shit. I don't know, man. I just be intrigued around shit like that. Like, how the fuck can you just be so enthused with a motherfucker like that? Like, that's like, for me, Stockholm Syndrome. Like, I'm a real big I'm trying to think of the right word. I was about to say advocate, but that's definitely not what I'm trying to say. But I have a super high interest in the whole concept of Stockholm Syndrome because it's one of those things that like baffles the shit out of me of how you could be in danger one moment and then like somehow you end up falling in love or like having such an admiration for somebody that's like hurting you. It's just the way the mind works with that is super intriguing to me. But yo, man, next episode, you guys get ready. We got a fun one. This is one of my favorite movies. This is one of the joints that I love to watch. I watch it, you know what I'm saying, sparingly, but every time it comes on, it's always a good watch. Starring Tom Hanks, man. We doing big. You know what I'm saying? This is where Tom Hanks basically was a little boy. When Tom Hanks wasn't a little boy, but the little boy basically makes a wish, it actually happens in real life, and he becomes an adult because he's sick of his parents' shit, and then he has to live life as an adult, and he gets to do all of the things that a little kid would do if they were an adult.
Well, I don't have too much because I've never seen Big. So this is going to be my first time seeing Big. So
yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see it, man, because...
I will say this, though. Okay. This was a very, very interesting look into the difference in cultures because at the age the dude was when he had made this wish, right, and became Tom Hanks, it's a scene in the movie where, you know what I'm saying, he meets this lady and, you know what I'm saying, he brings her back to the house and, you know what I'm saying, the lady think that they about to, you know what I'm saying, get busy. And, you know, of course, my nigga a virgin. He don't know no better. He like, ugh. Yeah, that scene with with a 13-year-old black kid, bro, totally different. I guarantee you. Not one 13-year-old black kid I grew up with was ever like, ugh.
Why you stupid?
Yeah, it's funny seeing, like, you know what I'm saying, just the shit that you know what I'm saying that he's doing in his movie. Because like the whole time this and this such great acting because the whole time he's acting like a kid through the whole movie because mentally you know what I'm saying, he's still fucking 13. He just got the body of a grown man, so like all the shit that he's doing is exactly what the fucking kid would do. So yeah,
they redid this movie. Then they redid this movie with Jennifer Garner. 13 going on 30.
Going on 30. Nah. That's not the same. 13 going on 30 is trash compared to Big. Fuck out of here with Jennifer Gardner. 13 going on 30. Same concept for sure, but Big is way better. 13 going on 30 was I couldn't relate to it because I'm not a girl, but
yeah,
with Big I definitely could because like as a kid I totally understand everything where my man was coming from except for the scene where that nigga said outside of that, like I totally understand where my nigga was coming from. Like that nigga had a New York high rise, and in the middle of the whole high rise, nigga had a bunk bed in the middle of the room. Hey, bro, this nigga got a job with this toy company, right? And this nigga was in marketing. So this nigga was like, This nigga was making such great money. Like this nigga had like arcade games in the house. This nigga had like every fucking toy possible. Like, this nigga was living life, bro. For a 13-year-old, this nigga was making it. They got a job, and this nigga was getting every toy he ever wanted, bro. That shit was so crazy.
Man.
This nigga had like hella video games. His best friend was still the same age and shit, so he was running around with this little kid. It's a wild ass movie, bro. When you see it, you're gonna be like, who the fuck is not suspicious of this grown ass man running around with this kid?
Oh man.
But it's a great movie, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting first watch for me, man.
Yeah, man. So next episode, man, we doing big starting time. Hanks, y'all make sure y'all tune in. Y'all already know, man, if you like the episode, if you didn't like the episode, if you want to request something, you know what I'm saying? If you want to just drop by and say hi, man, hit us up on those socials, on Instagram and Twitter at ViewerNinePod. You can also hit us up on Facebook at VA Pod Watch Group. As far as I go, you can hit me up on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. I have a link tree in my bio, so you can go there and find me everywhere else.
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me at S.Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter, at 28 Minutes or Less Pod on IG. Stay tuned for a new episode of 28 Minutes or Less. Something's going to be coming out very soon, so be on the lookout for that. And also check out the old episodes in the archives, man. The last episode that I did was Ghost of Ole Miss. You know what I'm saying? The story on the, what was it? The 1965 Ole Miss Rebels football team that went undefeated, but it's also about the riot that went on campus because of the first black student to go to Mississippi University. His name is James Meredith. And so I told the story of that. So I think it's a really good episode. I think it's a really good 30 for 30. So I think everybody should check that out, man. That's a great history lesson for the people. But we'll go check out that last episode that I put out of 28 Minutes or Less.
For sure, man. And also, man, get on them socials. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up and congratulate my guy, man. Hit my guy up. Let him know. Congratulations, man. My man is living in, you know what I'm saying, a brand new house. You know what I'm saying? Doing this thing. Super proud of my guy. Super happy for him. And y'all should be too. So go show some support. Show some love to my boy, man.
Thank you.
No problem, bro. Yeah. And with that being said, man, listen, we'll see you guys next episode. Can't wait for it. Until then, you know what they say in Hollywood, man. That's a wrap.
Cut.